25 before the hour. I keep hearing while this Ebola virus is slowly but seemingly inexorably spreading very slowly, very deliberately in this country. I realize 4 cases do not an epidemic make. I understand that. But there are a couple things that come to mind as I watch this. First of all, nobody's in charge. Nobody seems to know what the protocols are, how to handle something like this. This hospital does that. The CDC says this. In the meantime, there's no Surgeon General because of the gun issue. Yeah. If that staggers your imagination, that's the way it is in this country. Because of the goddamn gun issue, because the gun nuts own these cowardly bastards in Congress, we don't have a Surgeon General. There should be one person speaking for public health, and that's what this is about at a time like this, and it should be the U.S. Surgeon General. But there is none, thanks to the Republicans. She doesn't exist. And it's going to continue to be that way. Slowly, the Republicans are just absolutely destroying everything. So I don't hear that talked about. I was listening to MSNBC today. Poor old Ronan Farrow, who's soon going to be gone from MSNBC, but he was interviewing Dr. Arthur Kaplan, the medical ethicist and professor, and who also is on the board of the World Health Organization, one of Kathy's favorite authors and teachers. And Kaplan finally made a critical statement, although he didn't come out and label the Republican bastards for doing this. But Kaplan said, unbelievably, the gun issue has prevented the United States from having a Surgeon General. Now, to his credit, Ronan Farrow, although he also wouldn't mention the obstruction of the Republicans, Ronan Farrow wouldn't do it either. Farrow said, the Congress has denied the president a Surgeon General. And I listen, I can understand Kaplan saying it the way he said it, but I listen to these commentators, the great liberals on MSNBC. I listen to NPR. I mean, NPR, their mouths should get dirty. They should mention the fact that the Republicans blocked Obama's nominee to be Surgeon General because that nominee said gun violence should be looked at in this country. All right? So it's just astonishing to listen to this. The various cable news channels are like they're involved in a sex orgy, and they have huge supplies of Viagra. I mean, this thing just keeps just getting bigger and bigger for them. I thought Wolf Blitzer was either going to have a stroke or a massive on-air orgasm today. I'm listening. I don't need the television. I'm listening on Sirius XM. And Blitzer just going out of his mind with what? Joy, fear, excitement. We'll get our ratings back. If we can't have a crashed airliner, we can have a pandemic. Where's the pandemic? Somebody. Only 4 cases? Jesus, will somebody do something? And no talk about the collapsing public health system in this country. That you've got all these people running around with their hair on fire. 4 people in this country. 8,000 in West Africa. Cuba. What has Cuba done? Something China hasn't done, Brazil hasn't done, the U.S. hasn't done, Russia hasn't done, the U.K. hasn't done, India hasn't done. Cuba, a nation of 11 million people, 11 million people, that we've had on our poop list for the past 60 years, thereabouts. Cuba has sent a brigade of 165 Cuban health workers. They arrived in Sierra Leone last week. Any news about that in American media? Probably the most educated population in the Western Hemisphere. Cuba. That 165 health workers is the first part of a total of just under 500 that Raul Castro is sending to help. No fanfare. Now, what are we sending? 4,000 troops. Cuba. Now, the Western governments, of course, are concerned with one thing right now, the capitalist countries. One thing and one thing only. This is all that matters right now. Stopping the epidemic at our borders. The UK, Spain, United States, the European Union, whatever. Oh, no. Oh, no. Let's set up checkpoints, checkpoints, checkpoints. You got a fever? 105. No, 101. No, 98.7. No, 100.3. Meanwhile, where this epidemic began, where it is raging out of control, Cuba sends health workers. So what are we concerned with in the capitalist countries? Well, look at the stock market. Oh, the stock market's going crazy. Oh, my God. Airline stocks down, what, at one point today, down 4%. Airline stocks. The business community just wetting itself, just going crazy. What? Sell, sell. Woo, woo, woo. Ebola, Ebola. And as has been pointed out, the pharmaceutical companies work on a cure for Ebola. The Public Health Service has been gutted. So the National Institutes of Health that does a lot of research, they can't do anything. They don't have any money. And the pharmaceutical industry, what are they doing? While thousands of people are dying of Ebola, and everybody knew this was going to happen, for Christ's sake, a book was written about this 20 years ago. The Coming Plague. The Hot Zone. 2 books. But the pharmaceutical company, well, there's no money. I mean, what? You want us to do research and development for a bunch of Africans? Whose annual income might be what? $3.80? Not going to do it. But now, you see, oh my God, 2 Americans infected in this country. A couple, 3 more who were brought here after being infected in West Africa. Oh, now, for Christ's sake, let's have a cabinet meeting. And John McCain, what did McCain say? McCain is calling for an Ebola czar? This schmuck who voted against the confirmation of the Surgeon General. But he wants an Ebola czar. And and of course, this is all Obama's fault. It's all Obama's fault. Every single bit of this is Obama's fault. Somehow, Obama snuck into West Africa. Oh, no, well, but see, his father's from over there. It was his old man. His old man got an infected, some infected bushmeat and fed it to a bunch of people, and they got Ebola, and then they're bringing it here. You know why they're bringing it here? So that Obama can declare martial law or something. So the head of the CDC here in Atlanta has been stepping in to fill as much as possible. How many times have you seen him on TV lately? What's his name? I can't think of it. Can't think of it. But instead of the Surgeon General, we have the head of the CDC. We have Anthony Fauci, who's the head of Infectious Diseases, National Institute of Health. We have 2 or 3 experts. And while they're all saying generally the same thing, there is no there's no Surgeon General is what I'm trying to get at. And there's no Surgeon General because the Republicans made sure there wouldn't be one. This is their doing. It is. And you know how many people are going to go to the polls in 2 weeks and vote for more Republicans? That's right. A lot. because Obama's a socialist. Socialist? Let me just share something with you. I was listening to NPR today, and I heard some economic news. Some economic news. The 2014 budget deficit has dropped to its lowest level in 6 years. In a statement, the Treasury Department hailed the news by pointing out a few key figures. The deficit in fiscal year 2014 fell to $483 billion. Remember when it was $1 trillion plus after the Bush crime family got through with us? Remember that? Remember? Now it's down to $483 billion, $197 billion less than last year, and $165 billion less than forecast in Obama's fiscal year 2015 budget. Budget deficit. That's all they've been talking about. Obama, the big spender. No. Just the opposite. And do you know how many people are going to go vote for Republicans in 2 weeks? Just millions of them. Because Obama is a socialist. Obama's a communist. No, he's not. He's a corporatist like the rest of them, only not quite as bad. We'll be right back. Oh, there's more. There's more. Stay there. So let me give you some more economic news, okay? I'm sure Prairie 2 will be writing about this the next day or two. So the deficit, the federal budget deficit dropped to its lowest level in 6 years. That means since right after the Bush crime family crashed the economy by this massive transfer of wealth from the middle class, and in the process destroyed the middle class and poor folks up to the 1%. So the deficit now is the lowest it's been in 6 years. As a percentage of GDP, the deficit fell to 2.8%. The lowest level since 2007 and less than the average of the last 40 years. In terms of dollars, the 2014 deficit is the lowest it has been since 2008. The point is, you know, we're in the toxic part, the contagious part. No, I'm not talking about Ebola. The really sick part of the political campaigns, where the candidates, Democrats and Republicans, go after each other like hungry piranha after a dead, decaying cow corpse. It's just rip and tear and shred. But the Republicans, if you'll notice, in your part of the country, if there's a Senate race, the Democratic senator, even if this is her first time running for office, any office, she is an Obama bot. She will do Barack Obama's dirty work. She will continue the profligate spending, the out-of-control budget. Well, the goddamn numbers are right here. But have you heard this? Have you heard that? I heard it on NPR. Did you hear it tonight? No, you didn't hear it tonight on the network news. You did not hear it on CNN or MSNBC. And the reason you didn't hear it is because Ebola! That and the fact that corporate media want to see this complete takedown, because corporate media is owned by the same 0.1% that owns or wants to own everything else. And as Prairie 2 has been saying on this program for a couple of years now, 3 or 4 years, what these predators are waiting for is deflation. And deflation is right around the corner. These numbers continue. Deflation right around the corner. What does that mean? That means the 0.1% will then step in and buy up everything for 25 cents on the dollar or less. While you and I and people on fixed incomes and wage earners further into the tank. But this is how capitalism works. This huge, monstrous financial mess was created 8 years ago by the Republicans. The Republicans always do this. And then they stop doing it because there's nothing left to steal temporarily. They have to wait for the well to fill up again before they steal all the water. What makes the well fill back up? Well, it's not Obama, and it's not the Congress. It's simply the nature of our economic system. The predators steal everything, then they stand back while the well fills up again, while the corn gets ripe again, while the cattle get fat again, and then they step in and steal and plunder again, over and over and over and over again. And the American voter helps them do it every time. Oh, yes, I'll vote for you because Obama is an African socialist Muslim. Of course I'll vote for you. Oh, yes, beat me, flay me, steal from me yet again. I love you, Republicans. You believe in God and the flag. Aha. Michelle Nunn, who is Sam Nunn's daughter, is running for the Senate, open seat for the Senate here in Georgia, against a real thug. A guy named David Perdue, who made his money by moving into companies like Dollar General and I don't know, a bunch of them, firing everybody and taking enormous profits out of the country, out of the company, sticking them in his pockets and then moving on to the next company. That's what he did. That was what he did. He would buy up companies that needed desperate help. He would go in, he and his gang of predators, fire as many people as they could. You have a job, you have a $7.50, well, not anymore, you don't. Buy, sell off the pieces, put the money in his pocket. And that useless bastard is running against Michelle Nunn. You know what Michelle Nunn's history is? She ran George Herbert Walker Bush's Points of Light. Now, we can all make jokes about the Points of Light, but they're a charitable organization. But there were millions of people who signed up for that who did some good stuff. And Michelle Nunn, who's running against this thug. I mean, the guy is really a thug, a mafioso type. And what does he do in his campaign ads? He tries to link her. You know what he said? He said that she used to work for an organization that collected money and gave it to terrorists. George Herbert Walker Bush's son, Jeb, came out and said it was the worst thing he ever heard. It was absolutely not true. The Washington Post, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, newspapers around the country said that was the most vile lie that they had heard in political campaigns. And you know what? There's a good chance this son of a bitch will be elected because this is Georgia, because this is America, because we keep doing this over and over, and I don't think it's ever going to stop until it stops permanently. Stick around. When we come back, we'll talk about, I don't know what, Ebola.